wow, looks so cool with the countdown.
That was really neat.
Boom.
Yeah, I wasn't sure we were live before, but now I know. I'm like, got the
Now
It's
you
without
know.
a question now.
Now know.
Final countdown. Hope everyone's here and excited to just hear me sing. Wait, there's no one here. Perfect.
It's still not showing live yet.
Let's see live.
I see live.
Now I'm seeing live. Okay.
That
was on the YouTube page proper, and it was not showing live yet, but now it is.
You know, the YouTube sometimes just doesn't love us.
You just got to reload it a couple times sometimes.
Sometimes you got to reboot it 3 times.
I had to reboot my car last week.
Oh, it's live. You had to reboot it last week?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know you could actually reboot.
Oh, are you talking about the Tesla?
Yeah, it was kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still learning all the new stuff, right? And whatever, I don't remember what it was.
Did it have a software update after you rebooted?
No.
Or is that why you had to reboot?
No, just I can't remember what it was. It was I couldn't. None of my Bluetooth devices would connect, and I was trying to figure out how to just reboot the Bluetooth and.
So yeah, you got to reboot the whole car.
Reboot the whole car. Yeah. It was funny because in the article it tells you how to do it, and it says they recommend you don't do it while you're driving.
No shit.
Really?
But I want my music now.
Yeah, I rebooted my car, crashed into a pole. Don't know why. Don't know why.
I guess, I'm not sure what's scarier, the fact that people have tried it or the fact that someone has actually tried it, so they had to actually put a disclaimer in there not to do it when you're driving.
You would think that they would just put some kind of safeguard in place where you can't reboot the car. Not like, are you sure? More like, you cannot reboot the car while it's in motion.
Yeah. They can't watch video while I'm driving. Why can't I reboot the damn thing?
I do wish you could watch a video while you're driving. I don't know. It's just selfish of me. Make it, I don't know. There's only one damn screen. And well, actually some of the other ones have multiple screens and you can actually watch videos in the other screens. But, I don't know. We need more screens in the cars. So many screens.
Everybody needs more screens. More screens. All right, let's do it, huh?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, eh?
Let's fly this ship and build it at the same time. Welcome to Black Hills Information Security, talking about the news. I'll be your host today, Ralph May. We have such a small cast. I think John's out inoculating babies or something in some third world country. He's a hero. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's out teaching a class. We got Ryan here to shoot us, and we also have Dale. No one else has decided to join us today, but you viewers have joined us today for another exciting newscast where we talk about
another exciting episode of Ransomware Daily.
Yes,
weekly.
I've bought a banjo and I'm going to start playing songs of all the companies that have been ransomware this week. It's going to be great. Tune in.
We're going to have to rebrand and rename the show soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Just talking about ransomware.
Yeah, just talking about ransomware. That's oh my god. No,
you know who else is talking about?
I don't want to be on that show.
You know who else is talking about ransomware? It's President Biden.
Oh, that is right. This is our first article. Regardless of how you feel about the politics, Russia is harboring gangs who do ransomware, and this is kind of a fact. It's known. There's a couple things outside of what's written in this article, and that is one of them is that if your computer is set to just has the Russian language pack installed, ransomware most likely won't affect you. So, one of those statements where, as long as you're not doing ransomware on your own country, it's fine. So this article is just kind of about Biden saying, hey, Russia, no more ransomware. And, there's definitely some blame there. I mean, they're definitely harboring this kind of activity. Maybe they're part of it. I don't know. Irrelevant. They are definitely harboring people or organizations who are doing it. You don't hear about the I will say one thing. We don't have any ransomware gangs in America that are causing ravage, damage. So
I think Russia needs a a dare program. You remember dare program in the United States here?
Yeah.
Tells them not to do ransomware. Just don't do it. Don't do it in Russia or anywhere. But
no.
They need a program now.
No, it appears that Putin does not care, and it also appears that it's profitable. So, here we are talking about ransomware again on Black Hills Information Security, talking about ransomware. But
right.
I mean, I don't know. What are we going to do with this? Just saying you've been bad? I don't know. I mean, we're going to start a war. Hopefully not. So.
Oh, it's a cyber war. It's going.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. There is no bombs, but we're all affected. Anyways. Solarwinds. Speaking of something that just
the cyber
won't
war.
stop. Solarwinds is affected by a new 0-day flaw. And this is actually to do with the ServU FTP service that they have. This is unrelated to the Sunburst supply chain attack and, just pretty much everything else that SolarWinds gotten beat up with recently. But, so I guess there's it's being exploited in the wild for the ServU FTP server. So if you're still using that, you might want to take a look at your version, see if there's an update out here. I know a lot of organizations, we were just talking about that before the show started, that a lot of organizations are still using FTP to send files. I guess it's just easy. Yeah.
Well, it's not that much more difficult to use secure FTP, at least.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is I don't think this exploit is necessarily about the fact they're just running unencrypted. I think it's,
right. But we're still seeing a lot of people who are just using plain old FTP.
Yeah. No, that's true. Unencrypted, just FTP. It's actually interesting. A lot of banks and other financial institutions, they use that to send data back and forth in kind of like a dump format. Yeah, a lot of older systems too, using that to transfer data either in a push or pull configuration. It's kind of interesting how popular it still is. And there's a couple still large products like the ServU FTP and a couple other ones out there that just literally support companies like this to keep them going. So fun stuff. But I guess everything with SolarWinds is got a 0-day. No, I'm joking. But this one is true. So patch your ServU FTP server if you have one.
I think it's pouring outside. Sorry if you can hear that.
Oh, no, you're good.
Downpouring.
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, welcome to Florida. Moving on, we got hackers that spread malware. Film at 11.
This is another interesting one. So I guess hackers are spreading. This is like a real specific attack chain here, but it is kind of interesting. It's a watering hole attack on Chinese online gambling sites, and I believe that they're putting malicious JavaScript to then further compromise the systems that connect to that in that water hole attack. I thought it was also interesting that you have Cobalt Strike in here, just the kind of a whole implementation, to compromise people in kind of like a broad watering hole attack. Very specific though to a Chinese market though. I don't think they were talking anything, but it's supposed to be the file that this malicious JavaScript prompts you to download a new version of Adobe Flash or Silverlight or some other kind of plugin that you're gonna need to work this site. So the lesson here is just don't online gamble. I don't know.
Wasn't Silverlight retired? Didn't they kill that off?
Not in China, I guess. No, I mean, yes, some of this stuff is old, and Flash has been publicly sale shipped, deprecated, whatever word you want to use here. It's supposed to be gone, but yeah. So, I don't know. I haven't been to a site that's needed Flash in a long time. Have you?
No, I can't remember the last site that used Flash or Silverlight, which was why I was curious why these gambling sites are still using outdated technology.
Well, I don't know if it's a gambling site. I think this was the the JavaScript prompted for them to download as if they needed this to use the gambling site.
I see. Okay.
I'm not sure, but whatever to get them to do something out of the normal. it's not uncommon to see that with anytime you get an advertisement or something that pops up and says you need to update some extension for your browser, be warned, right? That's probably not
if you didn't actively seek it out, be warned.
Yeah. Silverlight is gone this fall, still runs an IE. That's Edge. Yeah. I haven't used it for anything recently. I know Edge is Chrome now too, so it's kind of an interesting twist. Because Edge is moving into, it's pretty much just Chrome. It's a rewritten version of Chrome with Microsoft syncing your data now instead of Google. Choose your poison. And then the old IE obviously sailing away and hopefully dying forever. But you know,
they've been saying that for a long time, though. I think so.
What's up?
I think they've been saying that for a long time about IE. That's going away. But
that was the same they said with Flash too. They were like, "Oh yeah, no, it's gone," and Adobe was still doing it, and everyone was still kind of making little Flash sites and stuff. They all served a purpose at a time. They were solving a problem, but we kind of got past those problems, so they're not really needed anymore. But usually that's where attacks start. Anytime there's some older code or some older software that they can kind of jump in, they'll be like, "Oh, for compatibility's sake," right? So
it's been relegated to the legacy technologies app.
Yeah,
along with the old command prompt that never seems to go away.
Yeah, right. All right. Next article we have is about kittens. Some kittens. Yes,
cat article.
It's all about cat pictures.
That's right.
Specifically. No. So supposedly, hackers are hiding stolen credit card data in images for data exfiltration. So according to this article, some hackers have been exploiting or compromising websites, and to exfiltrate the data, instead of just sending it through some other kind of command and control channel, they're actually having the web server write the data that they want, for example, credit card data, to an image, and they're using base64 encoded value. I don't know why they're not encrypting it inside of the image, like an extra header, and then sending that or having that image available to the attacker, right? So publicly posting that image. Now, if anyone were to visit the site, you would just see the image, maybe probably of a cat. But if you were to look at the, actually inspect that image data, you'll see there's some base64 encoded compressed string that you can extract out of there that has some credit card data from the app. And then I'm assuming that new pictures get posted every time there's new credit card data, hence, and it's kind of a novel technique for exfiltrating credit card data. Again, like I said, I would probably encrypt it, but that's just me. I guess they just want it in the clear. Kind of interesting, your credit card data and cat photos. I'm not sure if they're actually cat photos, but
that's what they use for the stock photo for the article. So that's where we got that from, for those who are just listening to the
who are just listening. Yeah, there's a stock photo in there, and there's a cat, because all photos on the internet are mostly cat memes. So.
Yeah, these are cat burglars.
See, I see what you did there. I didn't really think about that, honestly, to tell you the truth. When I was looking at it, I was just thinking of all the cat photos that are on the internet. Not that like they were cat burglars. Oh, all right. I like it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I thought it was pretty interesting that they'd go through all that trouble just to get the data out. It's like, why can't you come up with a more direct way to get you the data? It seems like a pretty big workaround.
The idea is to stay hidden, though, right? I mean, more direct ways are hopefully going to be, or probably also more mainstream and likely detectable, versus hiding it in comment fields
and that makes sense.
Something that people are looking for, but yet they will be now. So
now everyone's going to be looking at cat images or whatever images for credit card data. That's going to be great.
Add that to your blue team list if you're.
It honestly sounds like a CTF challenge to me, because that's like the first thing in any CTF is like you start investigating you see an image and you're like, oh, is there data in the image? Is there like, it's always like the, 007 mystery here about like stuff that really nobody would ever do. But it sounds like somebody decided to do that. So I guess Steg is not that crazy.
Maybe it was a CTF and this is fake data and we're just thinking it's a real breach.
I don't know. I mean, if it's not encrypted, you can decode that data and get those sweet, juicy credit cards.
Shopping spree.
Yeah, right. All right.
Next up is Mint.
No, the Mint
Mobile.
So I get
mobile.
We don't have a whole lot of data here, according to Bleeping Computer, but Mint Mobile was hit by a data breach, and phone number they detected it, I believe, when phone numbers reported and some data was accessible. Supposedly, it happened in June, so last month, and it was affecting a very small number. I'm using like air quotes here for those who are listening. Small number of Mint Mobile phone subscribers, and I guess some were temporarily ported to other carriers without permission. Kind of the point of the cell phone porting would be to take over a cellular number, and you might be thinking, "Oh, sweet, I can make free long distance phone calls." No one cares about that. They're doing it to usually do some like two-factor or some other kind of like phone authentication. So they must have targeted very specific numbers, looking for accounts that possibly had maybe crypto. I mean, that's my only thought when I'm doing like a phone port, like if you want to try to steal a bunch of money. But yeah, so they're aware of it. They did not say exactly how they got in, whether it was actually like a web application vulnerability or social engineering or some other kind of attack vector to get access to this data. They just said a small number of people were affected, and that some numbers, a small number of numbers, were ported over. So fun stuff. If you have Mint Mobile, might want to check or
check
I
your
don't
account.
Really know.
Change your password. Do something.
Yeah, change. Like if your number got ported over, you probably know at this point because your phone just stopped working, right? But yeah, what do you guys think about cell phone porting? Is this like a viable attack vector for red teams? I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends what they use that that phone number for. So if you got a lot of different companies who use the SMS for your multi-factor, right? So they can intercept that and get in your accounts, and I guess it depends what you're using it for. So.
Yeah, I know a lot of like check with Ryan Reynolds. I know a lot of like movie stars and other people too have had their numbers ported and compromised. And I was kind of joking about like for red team, it's just like convincing that it is a valid attack. It's just so out of the bounds of the organization, because you're actually attacking the cellular provider to then in turn attack the user, to most of the time, to bypass two-factor mostly, or some other kind of like out-of-band authentication method by getting that cell phone number. In addition, you could do other things like sync the phone. I guess there's all kinds of fun, interesting stuff you could do after you have someone's cell phone number. But yeah, I think recently most people have been using it to steal money. I know with the crypto, that's the big one, because people are like, oh, I have, or possibly their bank. You're like, I have two-factor set up, and your two-factor is them sending a push notification via a cellular number, right? If you can port out the phone number, now you get that notification, and you could go through a password reset procedure, which is what a lot of like quick attacks do, right? They know you're going to know, but they can't stop it. Like within that 1 hour, they're able to reset your password, jump into the account, make a transfer, and like do all this stuff. And then, by the time you're calling up the cell phone company to try to stop it and all this other stuff, it's all over. So
cat and mouse.
Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not a small number that turns into a large number of affected customers. But yeah, hopefully it's still a small number. All right.
So now we got Microsoft acquiring RiskIQ for their own cybersecurity.
Yeah, Microsoft set to acquire RiskIQ. Did they say how much it was for?
500 million cash, I believe it was. Was it 500 million? I think it was 500 million.
500 million. That seems like a bargain. RiskIQ. I actually haven't used it. I guess it's a threat.
$500 million cash. Yeah.
RiskIQ is threat intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't used it. Have you guys, or Dale, have you used it?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah. So So it does look like it was for 500 million for RiskIQ. It must be
$500 million cash.
Cash. There was some dude from Microsoft who showed up with a suitcase with $500 million cash in it. Yeah. Perfect.
Probably he had the bracelet on or the handcuff around it.
How many suitcases do you think 500 million is?
It depends. Is it small unmarked bills?
No. It's hundos.
Maybe it's gold.
Gold.
500 million in gold.
Just like much to our like
here we go. 500 million in Bitcoin.
Yeah, that doesn't take
a suitcase.
I mean, that's like
so it's just a laptop.
It's a thumb drive, dude. It's a thumb drive.
There we go.
Yeah, with 500 million in Bitcoin in it.
Yeah, and then another 500 million for the what do they call the key for to unlock the Bitcoin wallet or Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah, that's
it's really like a $1 billion deal.
It's a $1 billion deal. So I guess Microsoft acquired RiskIQ to help with their threat intelligence, I'm assuming, and now we're gonna have a E6 license that'll include Threat IQ. So you're gonna have to upgrade to that if you want better security. No, I have no idea if that's actually true, but I'm sure they're gonna integrate this into Defender and Azure ATP and all the other security products that Microsoft has. Down the line of data mining all of us for security information, right?
This doesn't surprise me. I mean, aside from the company RiskIQ themselves, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Microsoft is acquiring this type of stuff. I mean, we already know they're heavily bolstering up their security stance, so this isn't a surprise, I don't think.
Yeah, and actually, Microsoft's Azure information, well, I don't even know if it's what it's called now. ATP is actually a pretty good product and detects a lot of stuff when trying different payloads at it. It can detect a lot more than some other products depending. So yeah, and Windows Defender, like that's just a good baseline firewall, and they get all of their, not firewall, excuse me, antivirus or security product, primarily because they take all the data from all those endpoints, all those Windows systems, and they take that in and check to see if it actually is malware, and they can get signatures much faster than other ones. So yeah, all right, Defender for Endpoint, man, they've changed this name like 3 times, dude. Like seriously, it is ridiculous trying to keep track of this. So anyways, but they're including it all in like one big product as part of Azure, where you're kind of, it's a subscription model, right? Everything's subscription, right? Just pay me by the month, man. So all right.
So we're moving through these. Lazarus,
yeah,
Target,
I know, right?
Lazarus.
Dale, you just gotta jump in here, man. Just
well, this one, they're going after the job seekers here now, right? They're not.
Yeah, let me. I didn't say that article. So for the audio people, Lazarus targets job-seeking engineers with malicious documents.
Yeah, so they're going after the job hunters now in this case, and Ralph, you got a good point earlier that they're kind of trying to maybe to bait them and get them hooked before they get into somewhere that's valuable and typical stuff.
It's definitely an interesting long con, right? Like, okay, well, hopefully they get this job, and then I've already compromised their system, and then after that, I can then compromise the company.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, like people put so much stuff on LinkedIn, right? I'm betting they're still targeting people. They're looking for whatever. If they're looking to target someone with Fortinet or Cisco or whatever, they're probably going to find people on LinkedIn with a lot of that experience, because it's likely that's going to be where their next job is, and something in that field, right?
Yeah, this brings up the real question about supply chain attacks and looking at a longer attack chain than just, hey, this person works here, so I attack them and then I take over this company. Just looking at trying to use access that you have to what would seem like not high value targets, and then turning that into high value targets because of relationships that person has with certain organizations, right? And that chain or process, while seeming more not risky, but less guaranteed to get you where you want to go, might end up turning in more ways than one, especially when some of these organizations are just looking to profit from that access, as opposed to definitely trying to hack this company for certain reasons, right? They're probably just trying to hook into as many IT companies or other employees that have access to companies that then have access to more business to business. And then they can, it's kind of like just planting a seed to get the best ransomware, hit. I don't know. Yeah. Opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you would think, so, and think about it this way. When you're defending your infrastructure or your company, for example, and you think, well, I'm defending it against everyone who attacks me, right? But you're not thinking about that as like, well, this employee that I have got compromised, and then they in turn used the access that they have that I didn't know that they were compromised, and maybe they were compromised before they even started working with me. I mean, that's kind of a wild attack chain, right?
Yeah. So you're basically hiring a breach.
Yeah.
Think back to Marriott, right? They bought a breach, right? When they bought, was it Starwood, whatever, right? So
they're
hiring people who are already compromised without them knowing it.
I know that seems like a tough.
We have Rob join us finally.
Oh, hey Rob, what's up, man?
Snuck in there quietly.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, don't be sorry. We're happy you're here
from the beginning now.
Yeah, we got to start all over, everyone. All the articles, we must go back again.
So this, the Lazarus targets job-seeking engineers with the malicious documents sounds a lot like the researchers that were targeted with like malware to go look at kind of stuff back in a few months ago, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting, just the idea of like just taking some, like, because it might not pan out, but I mean, the risk of you getting detected is probably a lot lower, right? Because, you might just be compromising this person's workstation or whatever. It's kind of interesting take on like kind of getting your claws out there in a smaller way. So,
yeah, I mean, with everyone working from home these days, like that's the big hit, right? Is that people who are working from home are actually usually using their work laptops these days. I've seen actual attacks that were using. So I've seen a few different places where people have added plugins for Minecraft because their kids were using Minecraft on work machines, and so they were getting code execution on work machines because they were using Java, and just adding all of these what's it called, like extensions and edits or mods, sorry, on Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean this was how the LinkedIn breach happened too. They compromised somebody who had a publicly exposed server to the internet, and it had nothing to do with LinkedIn. And then by compromising that, they compromised their network, and in turn took over their workstation, which had VPN access to a lot of sensitive stuff. So that's kind of a very logical attack path, that you kind of accidentally run into, that company to company thing. Even when I do test, right, I end up in an environment and I realize that, oh, this company that I testing, they have a business relationship with another company, and they already have some kind of like data connection that they're sending back and forth, and it's not that crazy to make the next hop. So I don't know, it's wild.
Have you ever done any phishing through via Craigslist?
No.
So on Craigslist, you can actually find people who work at companies and ask them to do certain things. And what was it? Like 7 years ago, like Craigslist is old at this point, right? So 7 or 8 years ago, we on an internal team, we found a Craigslist posting where this guy was saying, "Hey, I currently work here, but I moonlight for doing web design and I forget what part of Craigslist it is, but essentially you're proving your skill by saying where you work." And then and I think it's web design or specific design. So we posted, hey, could you design this thing for us? And we provided him with a zip of like a quote unquote PDF at the time. And there's all these PDF exploits that came out, and we got his work machine. He was doing all of it from his, powerful work machine.
Yeah. Huh. That is definitely interesting. To go back, taking, like finding someone who's you can connect to that, right? Connect to that like work organization, and then drawing that line, right?
That's an interesting one there, because a lot of companies don't allow you to work or to moonlight for other places as well. So that kind of makes
they don't allow you, but they're totally doing it, man. Like
no, I get it, but now that you're kind of like you kind of threw this guy into the limelight, right? So one hand you accomplished the goal, but now did the guy get fired because he's moonlighting and he wasn't supposed to? He was against his contract.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, you gotta realize that like that makes a pretty realistic attack path, right? And
definitely,
very very hard to detect. I mean, in their case, now you're just relying on one endpoint, hopefully, and him easily being convinced to do something because it's within his personal interest, and outside of that. So,
but we've all gotten transitioned over to zero trust now, so we're not. Yeah. So we're nothing. We're not vulnerable to this anymore, right? That's the thing. Like everyone's on zero trust, so the endpoints are automatically not trusted, so no problem there. We're all good.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's totally zero trust, and everything works perfect after that.
It's solved then.
It's been solved for a while, and we're just talking about stuff that used to happen in the past.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. That just reminds me. I mean, I know that you're joking about the zero trust. It's just like whenever you have environments where you're trying to access some other network or whatever, you just wait till the person jumps on the VPN, or in your case, you're saying just wait till that person logs into that site with zero trust, right? And now you have access to that. So compromising a host is extremely powerful, especially the user's like main workstation.
As long as you can stay there.
Yes, as long as you can stay there.
Persistence is not an absolute. It's more of an art than a skill or a science these days. Yeah. With all the EDR solutions and all the stuff out there.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that their workstation doesn't have it. It's a Mac and it's safe.
What does it say? What do you do when you're promoting something? Can I promote something real quick?
Shameless plug. Yes.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
So BHIS Las Vegas this year is doing something real super awesome that I'm really glad to be a part of, and that is campfire stories. So all of us, talk about all of these stories from, back in the day, or this red team engagement, or this, this pen test that I did, and we have complaints about customers or situations or self, doubt where I misconfigured that or I misput that. And so we're doing campfire stories at BHIS Las Vegas this year, where we all just sit around and tell red team pen test stories, and everyone gets to learn, from the defenders on what worked to like the new pen testers who know what to get away from. But check out the BHIS Twitter account. There is a place where you can submit your stories to be and it's just abstract, sort of, to be told at this event. So it's sort of scheduled, but we just want to make sure that we have enough stories to keep things going. But yeah, check out the BHIS Las Vegas, and I'm sure we will. There's too many pen testers love to talk about their stories, so be fine. So sign up, go check it out. It's going to be fun.
I feel like that's like half of our webcasts sometimes. It's like always devolted. Oh, well, this one time on this one, check this out, right? Yeah, I know. It's the campfire.
That's why people watch the show.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But if you have stories, go check it out and submit, because we need more stories.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Completed. What else we got? Oh, that's right. Insurance giant CNA, which didn't know that they were insurance giant, but they obviously are. Reports a data breach after a ransomware attack. This is the banjo part where I pull it out and start playing.
Can I ask a question real quick? Did the insurance company have cyber insurance?
I just thinking about that. Yes, they actually exclusively only offer cyber insurance, and they were attacked. I'm just kidding. That's not a fact. That would be really fun.
Oh my god.
So supposedly 75,000 individuals information is breached. Can't wait for that to appear online.
That's not too bad.
Well, they're from Maine. I didn't know that.
Where
75,000 is really small.
Yeah, it actually is. That's a very small. Usually if it's not like a million, it's kind of like,
right?
No. So this was a ransomware attack too. Some good data for attackers, social security numbers in some instances, health data, probably not that great. And supposedly the majority of individuals have been notified. Oh, so
complimentary credit monitoring. Here we go. Magic words.
Not 24 months. It's not even 18 or 12. You get 24 months worth.
We all should just get lifetime credit monitoring. I don't know what it does. You tell me. Please, someone tell me how this is going to help me. I just want to know. Like, your data gets stolen. How is this credit? Like, remember the one guy who was driving around, like, pimping his company that you can't steal his identity, and he had it on. Yeah, he got it stolen too. So come on, man. What does this thing do?
So the juxtaposition of credit monitoring always confused me because, like, the credit companies literally are doing monitoring of your credits to create a credit score. Like, that's what they're doing to create the credit score. So you're monitoring the monitors, which makes no sense because they're actually looking for fallacies to make sure their data is correct already. So I don't understand credit monitoring because it's literally doing the thing that they're paying to do.
It's their one job.
They're just getting you to pay extra for something that they're already doing.
But you're not paying for it. These companies.
No, but you can pay for it, and you can subscribe to credit monitoring yourself on your own.
Why would you pay for credit monitoring? It's
they're
literally what they're doing.
That on purpose, so that you have to buy credit card monitoring, right?
And that's the thing too. Is if you get some kind of alert from the credit monitoring, it's too late. It's already happened.
But these credit companies don't want to have to deal with the repercussions of bad credit reports, right? So if someone takes, let me back this up. So if someone takes a loan out in your name and it's invalid information, right? And they are stealing your identity, the credit companies have to do a ton of stuff to walk that back. It actually costs them more money to walk that back than it does to manage and hit the risk themselves, to watch out for it already. So they're literally not gaining or they're not getting anything from not doing credit monitoring all the time, right? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
the amount of change they have to do to walk something back.
Do credit monitoring.
Right. So all of the credit companies are doing credit monitoring because that's what they're designed to do, and that's what they are already doing. Right.
So they're effectively double dipping because they can get away with it.
Exactly.
So what you're telling me is that this is a scam.
It's a legal scam.
It's a scam to watch for scams, which is crazy.
So you can scam the scammer. You can scam the scammers.
Oh, we got hacked, and so we've made a way for us to make more money from that hack. It's like turning good news into bad.
Oh, well, that's red teaming, and that's just red teaming. Like, that's exactly what red teaming is. We're going to hack you to prove that we can hack you, that other people can hack you. God.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so they got hacked and ransom. So I'm not sure if the ransomware was before. The ransomware was after the data breach, most likely, because you probably didn't ransomware you and then after that take data. I mean, that seems really insulting.
Ransomware actually these days pushes out the data. It shovels it out the door as it's encrypting and stuff. So it's definitely possible that they got ransomware, and that's how the data got pushed out.
Probably on an open S3 bucket.
This article doesn't say if they paid the ransomware or not.
Oh, everyone pays.
Yeah,
no one talks about it, but everyone pays.
Well, they pay in some way, shape, or form, whether they're paying the bad guys or paying remediation or just paying the price. I don't know, man.
Or backup companies.
You pay now or you pay later.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I wish I worked at a backup company right now and I had like stock in every backup company out there, right? Like if you want good stock tips, buy stock in backup companies because they are making bank on this ransomware stuff.
That's actually how you make money in ransomware. You don't even care if they pay. You just buy stock in companies that would gain from ransomware, and then you just watch them, make money.
Skyrocket. Look at any of like Carbonite. Look at their stock value. It's skyrocketed since ransomware came like going into the forefront since 2018. Like all of these big enterprise companies that do enterprise backups, their stocks, if they're public, has skyrocketed.
Yep. Well, that's because we're like, I wish everyone would just back up their stuff and they'd have no problem. I don't know. That's not really how it works, though. Because like if you got like 1,000 machines and they're all backed up, you can't just like press a button and be like, back to normal. Like that's
what? I thought that's how it worked.
No.
Man. You just ruined it for me.
Yeah, I know. I ruined it. Sorry.
Did you get a pop-up on your computer that one time that said it could work that way? Maybe you shouldn't have hit that link.
Yeah, I gotta back it up. Back it up twice. What else we got, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You froze for a second.
Oh, medical imaging system. So critical flaw reported in Philips View PACS medical imaging system. So never used this. Haven't seen it, but I guess it's for CT scans, CAT scans, other stuff like that. And it looks like they had like a bunch of CVEs come out in here. I don't think in the article it says it's being actively exploited or anything like that. But bunch of stuff in medical. I mean, medical is just riddled. I mean, I don't know. We've talked about this a couple times, but just securing medical devices and medical equipment can be a nightmare because updating this stuff is kind of like, well, it works and it's been validated and, people live. And if it changes, so you can't have a blue screen of death on your medical devices. So,
yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's the mentality when it comes to
okay. But remember how much these things cost. Okay.
Oh yeah.
If I get a CVE in an MRI machine, and I can't have that MRI machine go down for even an hour, like or the maintenance guy to come in to fix the MRI machine costs me more than stupid MRI machine itself. Like, why as a hospital manager would I even pay for this fix to come in? Because someone to exploit this would have to be one, on my network, two, be, malicious enough to screw with a hospital, and three, have the expertise to attack this and have any kind of target for it, right? Like, what is the end goal of targeting something like this? Like,
I guess they were saying some of these are publicly exposed, and so they're recommending using firewalls and VPNs and other stuff like that. I mean, this stuff goes along with same with universities and stuff, where all the printers have public IP addresses because that for some reason made sense 50 years ago. I don't know. It's just
it still makes sense today. I love printing on random printers on the internet. What are you talking about? That's my favorite pastime.
I love it how a lot of universities are just like, well, that's just how it's been. We can't change it. We just get bad photos printed on our printer all the time. We just pay the price. It's the ransomware of printers, right?
I didn't even think about that. I was printing random messages. Bad photos is now opening up this whole new universe for me.
Oh my gosh!
That way, I'd be using printer ink and scarring people for life.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what you need to do.
Mental tattoo.
Yes, what I do think is funny though is that you'll
print a law book. Ouch! Sorry.
Just only Tran model photos. I swear to God, someone's gonna do that unrelated to us, and then they're gonna blame Black Hills for just printing out all these photos. Oh, great!
I had a. So do you guys remember Hamachi at all? Like a really old time where you basically, it was like chat, but you would add people and it would add your computer to this like sort of VPN. It's a mesh network over VPN, and essentially you were on the same network as these people. And so I joined with a friend of mine and we played Age of Empires 2, which is showing my age. But Age of Empires 2, awesome network game. Didn't have internet capabilities, but it had networking. So all you did was set up Hamachi, and you could play the game over a local network, right? And so we had this thing set up, and he noticed that I had my printer on it, and he printed I think he had like 600 queued up blank 500-page prints. And so anytime I put new paper in, it would queue up another 500 prints of blank paper. So at least he wasn't.
Why didn't you just turn the printer off?
I did, and then you turn it back on, and it's still queued up.
Oh no!
Oh, I see.
You probably had like a dot matrix too,
because it's sending it. The queue is on his side, right? It's sending it from my side. So every time my printer came back online, it would just keep sending.
Well, at least there were blank pages.
Yes, at least there. Well, he did print like 100 hacked in like MS Paint with the spray paint, like red HACKED.
What if you would have had to delete the printer and reinstall it? Would that even have worked? Cleared out the queue?
And so
create a new printer ID or something?
Yeah, so all I'd have to do is not share it, and then right?
Just not share it. That was it.
And then clear out the queue on my side. But yeah.
That statement reminded me. I was looking at there's a new chat protocol out there called Matrix, I guess, and you can make like your own federated chat, or it's encrypted chat, but you can host it yourself, or you can join someone else's Matrix server. It's kind of interesting. I don't know, with the whole chat wars out there's like 9,000 chat programs, and 99% of them are not even end to end. They're just data mining you. I don't even know. So
what? You don't have Telegram, WeChat?
Got them all.
Collect them all.
Wait, hold on. Let me
Pokemon cards, man.
Pokemon chat.
Yeah, let me open up my iPhone and see how many icons I have of just
Slack,
chat.
Hangouts, Google Chat, Keybase, Signal, Messenger, Facebook, Discord, Telegram, Teams, IRC Cloud, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Buffer, Instagram, Tumblr, Wicker Corporate, Flickr, Snapchat, Wire, Basecamp. Yep.
You have all of these on your phone?
Skype, Mattermost, Teams, Google Meet, Element. And that's it. I think.
Element, that's Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What somebody needs to just build one app that can link to all of those, so you only have to have one stupid app on your phone.
Mean Trillion from back in the day?
Yeah. No, I remember because I had that, because I was like, I got IRC on here, and I got a couple other chats. I had AOL. That's how you know this shit's old.
Oh, AOL, man. You just dated yourself big time.
Which chat do you hate the most? Jeff McJunkin said, which chat do you hate the most?
Oh, Jesus. Which one do I hate the most? Like, literally hate the most? One of them that I think I dislike the most is Slack.
Slack. I was going to say Slack too, because it has not evolved. It has did you see that they added like voice chat now? So they're more like Discord. They're trying to get like Discord. Slack was revolutionary at the time. And like, I just wish they could have kept going with it, and they focused too much on the corporate feature set, and they're really embedded well in there. But I think that they lost their open source fan base because they didn't evolve there. And I don't think Slack Connect, I don't think what is it? What is it called now? The like voice something. Anyways, they added that recently.
Yeah, and
it's
I mean, like,
name.
Slack isn't actually a bad chat. I mean, I think just out of all the ones I've used recently, I dislike it the most. The other thing too is that it's just a big chat platform that is also unencrypted, so there's no end-to-end encryption. So I mean that kind of brings it down on the totem pole for me. I think Teams is actually worse, but you know, it still
Teams is only worse. Teams is only worse because of the you know, the different tenants, and you can only have one tenant on at one time. Whereas like with Slack, you can, if you log in a freaking 100 times, you can have all of them. But
yeah. Oh, you just make your password the same for all of them, Rob. That's
yeah. No, I always make my password the same. That's the same password. It's easier to remember. Come on, man. It's all about convenience. You understand? No.
See, I started to add 2FA to all of my Slack channels, and I just got like, no, like this is like one thing in each one of my like Google Authenticator. It's like Slack this, Slack that, Slack this, Slack that. So I'm like, I'm done. Like
that's my new thing though. Is like with Office 365 is actually utilizing chat against people. Like you can go. After you escalate privileges or you're able to get into the Graph API, you can read all the chat messages and you can do some pretty advanced searches. You can also search for deleted messages, which is super fun because typically when somebody sends a message and then deletes it, it's because they accidentally typed something like, guess what? Their password or other things like that. So pretty fun. A lot of the features kind of that. And, you know, if you do access Office 365 from a more privileged standpoint where you can read everyone's chat in the entire company and search all of it, including deleted messages, which is also wild. But
so one of the other things I don't like about Slack is how they do their authentication. Inside of the Slack files on a Windows machine, you can, and there's a SpectreOps post on this. You can literally copy and paste files from that directory into your own, and you'd be logged into Slack. And there's no notification. There's nothing. There's like a log somewhere that you logged in from this IP instead of that IP, but like no messaging saying, hey, there was a, you know, you're logged into this box and then that box. Like there's no verification that this Slack session is in this version or this, you know, machine or any verification of that system itself. And you can just copy and paste it into another machine and you're logged in. I did that with a client or customer that had I got access to their what's it called? Their instant response people. And I was able to delete messages when they found, you know, of alerts because they had chat ops. You could just delete messages of alerts that were coming in for the stuff you were doing. And it was like, oh, that's, you know, oh, I ran Rubius and it got detected. And it's in the chat ops. Delete, gone.
You hacked them. You hacked them good.
Just saying, like.
Yeah. No, I think chat ops are really cool, but the chat war out there, any of the platforms, in my personal opinion, that don't do some kind of end-to-end encrypted, it's going to be tough to trust that platform. So, you know, it could just be a data mine. But anyways, was that the last article? I thought we had one more.
We got a couple more.
Oh, we got a couple more. Oh,
guess.
Gosh.
Take a guess.
Guess who got hacked?
Guess who got hacked? Guess who got ransomware?
Again, banjo moment. Guess retail store ransomware for $20 billion. No, I'm just kidding. They definitely weren't that. Was there any customer data stolen on this one? I think they said they didn't disclose.
Well, this one, if you scroll down and look right there, investigators determined that social security numbers, driver's license numbers, passport numbers. My question is, what the hell is a retail company doing storing that information?
Why do they have passports? Like, you know what? It's probably for like store cards, like store credit cards and stuff like that. So
I don't know. I used to work in retail, and I don't recall ever needing any of that information from a retail standpoint. But hey, times have changed. Maybe there's some legitimate reason for it now, unless it's maybe employees' information, maybe, because obviously some people, you know, they have their own travel company or travel teams within there that, you know, book their executives travel around, and maybe they need their passport numbers and stuff like that. But aside from that, I can't see why that
could be likely.
Yeah, they said dark side likely behind the attack. Sweet. they've stolen over 200 gigs worth of fashion retailers' network before attempting to crypt the systems. Cool. Yeah. I'm going to come out with a group called the Bright Side and do the opposite of this. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You can put all the information back.
Yeah. I just come up with reverses to the dark side ransomware. Oh man. But yeah, another ransomware. I don't even know what to say at this point. We talked about it. I feel like we're just beating the dead horse. Like stop the brutalness, stop the beating.
Another notch in the wall.
Yeah, I know, right? So I guess it wasn't a good day for them. And then last but certainly not least, Morgan Stanley. They were affected by the Acceleron hack. And that was, again, through the third party. Acceleron was a while ago, though, right? Acceleron? I think it's Acceleron. That attack was a while ago. But I guess that they're now... What's up?
December 2020.
It's 2020.
Yeah. And so I guess they're been affected as well. There was some data, the shame that was encrypted, names, addresses, social security numbers, corporate names. So yeah, more fun stuff. I feel like some of these attacks, we don't even get to see all the people affected now because of supply chain. And I'm using that in air quotes, where it's just like some company who does something with something else, that, you know, we don't even see all of the effects of it until like almost a year or two later. And mainly because people either one, just find out, or two, are just disclosing and that they knew about it, but they just couldn't hide it anymore. I don't know. We need more stipulations on when you need to disclose this, right? As opposed to like, oh, we had to shut down all the stores because none of the computers work. So I guess we got hacked, guys. We couldn't keep it a secret anymore.
You know what's interesting? This one, there's in the article, there's a paragraph in there, where it's right there where it says the letter. That letter you click on is a 20-page Word document explaining the details. I mean, are they expecting all their customers are going to read a 20-page email? And they don't even have dates in it. It just says July X8, 2021. You know. Website at URL by date. I mean, like all this template stuff in here that's not even completed. Like this just looks like a bad, a really poorly, right there you go, a really poorly done attempt at communicating information. I mean, great that they're trying, but 20 pages and, you know, finish the document.
They didn't finish the template.
Gosh, maybe because the hack's not done.
Insert code here. Yeah, I'm sure some hacker would love to insert some code in your Word document. Insert
customer number, engagement number. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, this PDF is actually a continuation of the attack. So yeah, it is interesting to see though that some of these.
Is this the same page over and over? It looks like it is.
Yeah. No, so
they
filled out the same page over and over again.
They filled out the first pages in their template, and they forgot to remove all the rest of the pages. That's what I think.
Again, poor implementation. A for effort, but you know, behind this implementation here.
Jeff says, "Dear victim, we take security very seriously." That is correct. That's pretty much the whole document. And
we are so seriously, we don't even want to put the information in here to just in case there's any additional leakage.
Yeah, and we're also offering free credit card monitoring for X amount of time, exactly 6 months, because we know in about 6 months your data will get compromised again. So there's no point in giving you 2 years. That's a waste of money. Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Well, that's the last one.
All right. I think that's all we had for today. Rob actually already stepped out. He had to go. Yeah. So I guess thanks everyone for joining for another exciting episode of Talking About the News. Thanks, Dale. Thanks, Ryan.
Ransomware news.
Yeah. Talking about ransomware. That's what we're going to change the show title. I hope to God. I honestly, it'll be so monotoned and I'll just be like, and other news today, another ransomware.
We're going to have to just start consolidating all those. Okay, we got 4 ransomwares this week.
Yep.
Okay, that's done. Now let's move on.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's honestly, I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start filtering it and just say, this person, and this person got ransomware this week, and continuing on. So yeah, we'll just make it into a hit list, right?
We could just put it in the show notes. Say for ransomware articles, see the show notes and other news.
Yes. Can you honestly just make some video graphic where you can insert the names and you're just shooting them with like little holes at the names for just like at the end, and then we don't have to talk about ransomware. We just be like, and thanks everyone for enjoying the show. The ransomware hit list is coming soon, and then we just play that. What about that?
I'm gonna write that down.
Well, anyways, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Oh, that's when I gotta hit I can't multitask that fast. Here we go.
Oh.
Improv is now ransomware and instead of yes and. Thanks, Jeff. And we're off.